Yes, welcome back to the Makuya Togere.
She said what she said.
What she said in studio. I'm back again in studio. Remember, my friends only call me Amma. And in studio with me, I have these usual suspects. The beautiful. The enemies don't call me anything. Nobody calls me anything. If you're not my friend, don't call me anything.
My name is Biggie.
Biggie.
Hi, I'm your friend. Sweet chocolate.
Yes, Sweet chocolate is my friend, of course. Yes.
Melody here.
Melody.
Gazelle, your woman lover.
Yeah.
Frankie.
And the one and only Miss Lemon.
And Bucks.
Now we have new bodies in the studio. Bucks and Frankie, you're welcome.
Thank you.
Yes, today we are talking about the Idahobit. Now the Idahobit, this is the International Day Against Homophobia, biphobia, and transphobia. Now every type of phobia that you know, this is what we're talking about today. Lesphobia, I don't know, biphobia, and what?
Intersex
Intersex phobia.
Intersex phobia.
There is also lemon phobia.
Now this is the international LGBTQI plus community and its supporters. Well, they work together to raise awareness around human rights, gender identity issues, and the many interconnected ongoing international fights against discrimination. We are talking about discrimination today.
Yeah.
You understand? Now it is important to say or talk about this now. By now I mean it's everything that is going on around in our country.
True.
What's that?
The
bill. Now they are retabling or repassing the anti-homosexual bill by the Parliament of Uganda.
They did.
This emphasizes the homophobic environment that threatens the livelihood of the LGBT persons in Uganda.
True that.
Oh
True
my
that.
God.
True that.
Tears and tears. Now, the Idahobit Day is held on the May 17th every year. Now the date remains constant no matter what the day of the week it falls on, because 17th May symbolizes hope for the LGBT everywhere in the world. Now it's a date that proves positive change is possible because of its history.
True that.
Yeah. Now the theme this year, the theme of the Idahobit this year is
Together always, united in diversity.
United in diversity. Uganda also joins the celebrations and the community celebrates it in a way. Biggie is going to tell us how the Ugandan LGBTI community celebrates the Idahobit Day.
Also quite important that the International Day Against Homophobia, Transphobia, Lesphobia, Biphobia, Queerphobia, and all the phobias. How we celebrate it in Uganda, we usually come together regardless of the situation. We come together and celebrate who we are, and we'll continue to celebrate who we are because we are citizens of Uganda, regardless of the anti-homosexuality bill, which was passed by the ignorant members of Parliament of Uganda. We will still celebrate Idahobit Day.
Yes.
Watch out, we're going to celebrate it.
Also another way that we celebrate Idahobit, we have listeners coming in with messages, and today we have one from, they're called AG. She says the International Day Against Homophobia, Biphobia, Intersex phobia, and Transphobia is a day to pay tribute to people of the LGBTI community who cannot be themselves, be true to themselves, and suffer discrimination and violence because of their identity.
Nayenga, why would someone really suffer because of this? Why would I suffer because of what I eat or drink or how I wear or whom I choose to love? Why? Where is the humanity?
But why?
Why?
It's because of the same thing. We've been people who are supposed to see something different are afraid. Because we've been put in a box that things should be a certain way.
That really gets me to
Which
this
is
question.
wrong.
Yeah, it is very wrong. It gets me to the question where I'm asking, what does homophobia look like for you, Blacks?
Homophobia looks, one, terrible. It's ugly. Yeah. It's nasty. It's rude. It's mean. It's very dangerous. But what I've seen homophobia do is, one, the LGBT community has suffered a lot of physical violence, financial violence, emotional violence, but also the most that is now taking upward is been the religious violence, where we've seen the community divert from their sense of worship to self-hate. So homophobia has just swept a lot of sense of belonging of the community to their own. So there's been so many things happening, like, people being beaten, LGBTQ women being forced into marriages, and people basically living double lives. Yeah.
That is the highlight of LGBT lives. You live like 4 lives. You have a life you live at work, home, kumizigo, with
The
friends
community.
as well. Now, the most hurting point is the friends. And what would you... okay.
Family is the most hurting.
Family is hurting because they have expectations. But your man friend, I just found you when I call you cool. Why are you even judging me? Get what I'm serving you and take that.
No, but then I think it's a combination. We don't want to put it specifically on friends or family, because all of them have different contributions.
I know.
Friends, they're those friends we've grown up with, but they should be able to understand us. And if they do not understand us,
They're the ones who don't understand.
and they're the ones who raise and increase the homophobia because they assume, you're an abomination. Yeah.
But let's keep that in mind. It's all courtesy of the conservativeness of the society, because we placed everything in a box.
Yeah.
So
True that.
yeah, that's
True
also
that.
a shortcoming that we are experiencing.
Yeah, true that. And it's so absurd that the issue is based on religion and culture. You see, so many people are monopolizing God, and they think they're more holy than whoever.
Yes, so everyone has a right what? To live. Melody.
Yes.
What does
Currently we live in a world where social media is like top, it's like up there. And the fact that nowadays there is more hate than love that I see being exposed out there. For me, it comes in a form of online bullying. Oh my God, the bullying that is on these social media platforms can make you think twice about actually being on social media. So it's like, it's so much, There's so much hate going on there. Yeah.
Gazelle.
Just to add on what Melody has said, of late, when you talk about media, what is trending is when you have hate speech, when mostly it's about the LGBT.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, your tweet or your post will get a highest follow and the likes. But to me, what homophobia looks like is vandalism. And what is vandalism? Vandalism looks like property destruction, writing on property. It may not be direct to an individual, but then using your property that identifies you to write to you to indirectly tell you what you are. Probably an example, I would say, coming on your door and write and finding this name that has been put on you, Omsiaga, just written on your door because they know you stay there and they cannot attack you physically, so they decided to go and write this on your place of work or on your desk or where you are staying.
So mental.
And
How do
that's
they even care?
homophobia to me.
Who you're sleeping with, I don't know. Frankie, you have something to say?
Yeah, to me, I'll speak on behalf of the trans persons. When I look at transphobia, it goes beyond just being the phobia, but then it describes hate, disgust, and then when it describes this feeling of you're unholy, your disgust to the family, to the society.
Nobody would understand why you
and
want
then
to
that
transition.
increases more of the stigma that comes up with us as trans persons. Yeah.
And that actually adds on. Actually, everything you're saying is adding on to social exclusion. Everything you're saying is social exclusion. First and foremost, as soon as you are who you discover who you are, or identify who you are, and even anyone gets a peep of who you are, there's social exclusion. That includes discrimination, isolation. You know, the isolation may come from may be you because you're being discriminated against. The services. You'll go somewhere for health services, for maybe even just communal services, and then you're going to be exempted because guess what? You're looking different. Because there's that scent about you that they make up that, oh, this is who you are and you're dangerous and you're evil, you know? You can't be able to go to a church, you can't be able to go to the health services that are free because they are discriminating you, how you look, who you are, because you are not in the box that is supposed to be in there. And courtesy of that, you lose sense of community. We are actually, most of our community members are lonely. Reason being, there is no sense of community. You've been displaced by, or even neglected by the family members, by your friends. You have friends who you think you actually connect with, but then at the end of the day, guess what? They also have their internalized structure of what society should be or what a person should be.
True.
So when they find out you're different from them, that is when the distance comes. That's when the whole evils come in. And because of that, you end up also isolating yourself because you don't feel like you fit anywhere. And what happens when you isolate yourself? You hurt yourself. So it's a whole situation.
So homophobia to me could look like those funny jokes that are not funny. Right? Put downs, like someone saying things like, Posy, you guys, how do you have sex? Like,
Manage.
do what? Like things like Mambala Bamba, or things like trying to make funny jokes thinking it's funny but it's not. I find it very homophobic.
So it's
Using things like
who's the
you're
man in the
cannibals.
relationship?
When a meeting and a minister said homosexuals are like cannibals.
Are you kidding me?
At your beach.
Yes.
That is why I don't watch news.
I was like, what?
I'll punch the TV.
Actually, there was one that said that the Western sat in the UN, drafted homosexuality, the whole concept of homosexuality, and they sent it to
Do
Africa.
they know that homosexuality
Imagine.
has lived for long time memorial?
Homo sapiens 189
Oh my god.
species.
All right. You know, I am taken away, but by whatever, like where I work from, someone will directly ask you. Someone didn't even know how to pronounce queer, and then they were like,
Queer.
are you? Are you queer? Are you queer? I'm like, what are you saying? Like, are you queer? I'm like, what? Again? And then it clicked. I'm like, oh, I don't know. And then they were like, the way you dress. I'm like, what does that have to do with whatever you're talking about? Yeah, but anyway, yeah, we get judged by just appearance. The dreads also. The dreads. Yeah, I've ever went to some community and they were like, those dreads are strictly for Chuya people. Chuya people. I am Chuya. I'm like, ah. Anyways, what fuels you? I want to understand what really fuels this homophobia. Gazelle.
Fueling homophobia really has many roots, and one of it being the myths and misconceptions. And where do these
That's
myths
where everything goes wrong.
and misconceptions come from?
Yes.
Are the wrong narratives that are being conformed at school and from home, family, society, of which some of the myths like homosexuality is Western. That's a theme that is being, that's a myth that is actually a backbone that has fueled a lot when it comes to the anti-homosexuality bill. So the myths and misconceptions are one of the fueling guitars and fuelers of homophobia.
Okay. Chocolate.
There's a group of anti-gender rights movement that have done the best to fuel violence. They have infiltrated the media. They have gone to church. They have gone to TVs. They even have the most TVs online. Like they have free to air. So like they are everywhere, and they are preaching hate speech. They are saying SRHR is for homosexuals. They are causing a lot of denied access to SRHR for queer women and other women. So they need to be stopped.
They need to be stopped.
Yes.
They need to be stopped.
Culture, yeah, it's playing a big role in fueling homophobia. When we were growing up, we were families usually they teach you how a girl is supposed to behave, how a boy is supposed to behave. Now, if you have sisters and brothers, and it comes to cousins, and then saying girls come in, they will start questioning the parent. Why is your child behaving this way? And then parents are pushed to challenge their children on how they are behaving, and then so I feel like culture is playing a big role in
it. Is the situation where the culture is saying, "Oh, man, and then at the next moment they're saying, "Oh, Sandy,"
right? But then at the same time, culture has been rewritten. We hear statements like, "Who we are is not African," but that's a lie. Our culture was rewritten and redirected. And the more we educate ourselves about what culture really is, we'll find out that we've been stripped of the originality of what culture is, and our parents and our grandparents and ancestors have been forced into that box of how things are supposed to be. That is why at this age, like you all said, bamboos, where are the children? But at the end of the day, go through school, go through university, then after university get a job, after getting a job get married. How is that process supposed to be happening?
Even back then, because we are seeing so many maybe homophobes, homosexual people now because of the phones that are close to us. My producer tells me that our ancestors were also we are also what? Homosexuals, just because they didn't have social media to put it right in everyone's face. True
that.
But what you should also appreciate that culture evolves, and the fact that we are in an evolving world, so we should also appreciate that bit of culture evolving.
I just wanted to add on what Lemonade mentioned, because much as culture evolves, we also know our ancestors moving forward, how religion comes to play with demonizing our culture. Because we're looking at traditional healers, and then the Christianity or the Christian fundamentalists are talking about the traditional healers being practicing witchcraft. So our culture and tradition in Africa has been demonized by Christianity.
We call it witchcraft.
So yeah,
like religion is new, culture has been there like forever. So this pastor will come to you and make you feel like he has hokawokonsi. Like we had Chintu and who?
Namono.
And Namono.
I also remember coming out, and my mom said, she was in school in the 1960s, and she said, "Neba mkwanako." So meaning it's been there. We just have not done a lot of research, and homophobia has been fueled by lack of knowledge.
In addition to religion, I believe it's also one of the sectors that has fueled a lot of homophobia. Churches, mosques, like literally all religions are preaching against, and it's like really, really, really out there, They're preaching hate. They're having, instead of preaching love, they're actually preaching hate messages. And it's contradicting
to the world.
Yeah, if you are supposed to love everyone, if you go like deep into the teachings, you're supposed to love everyone as you love yourself. God created us all in His own image, and then the next thing you want to do is ban someone because they are choosing to love someone. Really?
Alright, with that being said, grab your tea, grab your water, grab your juice. We'll be right back.
I got a question.